Stop dumping money into plants that die within weeks. The problem isn't you. It's what's happening 6 inches below the surface that you can't even see. And once you understand this invisible world, everything changes. Hey there, garden friend. Welcome back if you've been here before. And if you're new, I'm so glad you found us. Here in Garden Mentor, where we help you grow beautiful, thriving spaces without emptying your wallet. Today, we're diving into something that sounds boring, but is actually the most exciting part of gardening. What's really going on in your soil. Trust me, this will save you so much frustration and cash. Before we get into it, do me a quick favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We drop new budget-friendly garden tips every week, and I don't want you to miss out. All right, let's get our hands dirty, well, metaphorically for now. Number 1, the truth about dirt. So here's the thing nobody tells beginners. Dirt and soil are not the same thing. I know, sound weird, right? But hear me out. Dirt is basically dead. It's compacted, lifeless stuff that's been stripped of everything useful. Think of it like trying to run a marathon after not eating for 3 days. You're just not going to make it. Soil, on the other hand, is alive. I'm talking millions of microscopic creatures, fungi, bacteria, all working together like a tiny underground city. These little guys are the reason your tomatoes taste amazing or your roses bloom like crazy. When you buy a plant and stick in dead dirt, you're basically asking it to survive in a desert with no water. No wonder it dies, right? But when you put that same plant in living soil, it's like checking into a 5-star hotel with room service. Here's a simple test you can do right now. Grab a handful of your garden soil and squeeze it. Does it clump into a tight ball that won't break apart? That's a problem. Does it fall through your fingers like dust? Also a problem. Good soil should hold together loosely and crumble easily when you poke it. It should smell earthy and fresh, not sour or like nothing at all. That smell you're catching? That's life. That's billions of organisms doing their job, breaking down organic matter, creating nutrients, and basically running a 24/7 restaurant for your plants. Number 2, the 3 personalities of soil. Now let's talk about the 3 main types of soil you'll encounter. And I like to think of them as personalities because they each behave differently. First up, we have clay. Clay is that friend who holds onto everything, every memory, every grudge, every drop of water. Clay soil is heavy, sticky when wet, and hardens like concrete when dry. The particles are super tiny and packed together tightly, which means water and air struggle to move through. Your plant roots? They're basically trying to dig through a brick wall. But here's the plot twist. Clay is actually nutrient-rich. It's like a wealthy person who won't share their money. The nutrients are there, but your plants can't access them easily. Then we have sandy soil. Sandy is the opposite, the friend who can't commit to anything. Water runs right through it, taking nutrients along for the ride. The particles are large with tons of space between them, so everything drains super fast. Your plants are constantly thirsty and hungry because nothing sticks around. The upside? Sandy soil warms up quickly in spring, drains well so roots don't rot, and it's incredibly easy to work with. You just need to feed it more often. Finally, there's silt. Silt is the middle child that nobody talks about. The particles are medium-sized, somewhere between sand and clay. It holds moisture better than sand, but drains better than clay. It's actually pretty great, but pure silt is rare in most gardens. Here's what you need to know. Most of us don't have just one type. We have combinations. Maybe you've got sandy loam or clay loam. The goal isn't to completely change what you have. That's expensive and honestly exhausting. The goal is to improve what you're working with. And that brings us to the secret weapon, organic matter. Compost, aged manure, shredded leaves, grass clippings. This stuff is magic because it improves every single type of soil. It loosens up clay, helps sandy soil hold onto water and nutrients, and makes everything more fertile. We're talking about the universal translator of the garden world. Quick pause here. If you're finding this helpful, smash that like button so YouTube knows to share this with other gardeners who need it. And drop a comment below telling me what type of soil you're dealing with. Clay? Sandy? Mystery soil that might actually be concrete? I read every single comment, and I love hearing from you. Number 3, the pH mystery solved. All right, let's talk about pH, and I promise to make this painless. You've probably heard people throwing around terms like acidic and alkaline, and maybe you've glazed over because it sounds like high school chemistry. But stick with me because this is simpler than you think. pH is just a scale that tells you if your soil is acidic, neutral, or alkaline. The scale runs from 0 to 14. 7 is neutral. Think of it as the Switzerland of soil. Below 7 is acidic. Above 7 is alkaline. Most plants are pretty chill and happy anywhere between 6.0 and 7.5. But some plants are picky eaters. Blueberries and azaleas love acidic soil around 4.5 to 5.5. Lavender and clematis prefer it more alkaline, around 7.0 to 8.0. Why does this matter? Because pH affects whether plants can actually absorb nutrients. You could have the richest, most nutrient-packed soil on the planet, but if the pH is off, it's like having a fully stocked fridge with the door locked. The food is there, but nobody can get to it. Here's the good news. Testing your pH is cheap and easy. You can grab a testing kit from any garden center for under $10. You mix a bit of soil with water, add the solution they give you, and the color tells you everything you need to know. If your pH is too low and you need to raise it, add some lime. Too high and you need to lower it, add sulfur, or work in more organic matter over time. The changes don't happen overnight, but they do happen. And honestly, for most casual gardeners, just adding compost regularly keeps things balanced without needing to overthink it. Number 4, feeding the underground city. Let's get back to those microscopic creatures I mentioned earlier, because understanding them is like discovering your plants have been trying to tell you something all along. Your soil is basically a bustling metropolis underground. Earthworms are the construction workers, digging tunnels that let air and water flow through. They also eat organic matter and poop out castings that are pure gold for plants. Seriously, worm castings are one of the best fertilizers you can get. Then you've got bacteria and fungi. These are the decomposers, breaking down dead leaves, roots, and other organic material into nutrients plants can actually use. Some fungi even form partnerships with plant roots called mycorrhizae. The fungi extend the reach of roots, helping them access water and nutrients from further away. And in return, the plants share sugars they make through photosynthesis. It's a beautiful friendship. When you use harsh chemical fertilizers or pesticides, you're basically dropping a bomb on this underground city. Sure, you might get quick results, but you're killing off the workforce that keeps everything running smoothly long-term. This is why organic gardening isn't just some trendy thing. It's about working with nature instead of against it. When you add compost, mulch, or natural amendments, you're feeding the soil life, not just the plants. And healthy soil life means healthy plants that can resist pests and diseases better on their own. Here's a practical tip. Start a compost pile if you haven't already. Kitchen scraps, yard waste, coffee grounds. All of this becomes black gold that feeds your soil ecosystem. You don't need a fancy setup. A simple pile in the corner of your yard works just fine. Within a few months, you'll have free, incredible soil food. 5. Reading your soil like a book. Your soil talks to you constantly. You just need to know what to listen for. Weeds are actually great indicators. I know we usually see them as enemies, but they're telling you stories about your soil condition. Dandelions and plantain. You've probably got compacted soil that needs loosening. Clover popping up everywhere. Your nitrogen levels might be low, though clover actually fixes nitrogen, so that's a helpful weed to have. Moss taking over. You're likely dealing with acidic, poorly drained soil that doesn't get much sun. Water behavior tells you a lot too. Does water pool on the surface after rain instead of soaking in? Compaction issue, or too much clay? Does your soil dry out within a day of watering? Too much sand or not enough organic matter? Plant performance is another signal. Yellowing leaves can mean nutrient deficiency, poor drainage, or pH problems. Stunted growth often points to compacted soil where roots can't expand. Weak stems might indicate nitrogen shortage. The beautiful thing is, once you start paying attention, patterns emerge. You begin to see that gardening isn't about memorizing a million rules. It's about observation and response. Your garden becomes a conversation instead of a checklist. Number 6. Simple fixes that actually work. Let's get practical with some budget-friendly solutions you can implement right away. Problem 1. Compacted soil. Don't go out and rent a tiller. That actually damages soil structure and kills beneficial organisms. Instead, use a broad fork to gently loosen the top layer without flipping everything upside down. Even just poking holes with a garden fork helps. Then add a thick layer of compost or mulch on top, and let the worms do the mixing for you over time. Problem 2. Poor drainage. Raised beds are your friend here, and they don't have to be expensive. You can build simple ones with untreated wood, cinder blocks, or even just mount up soil. This lifts your plants above problem areas and gives you control over the soil mix. Problem 3. Nutrient deficiency. Before you buy fertilizers, try this. Collect your kitchen scraps, crush eggshells, save coffee grounds, and work them directly into your soil. Banana peels buried near tomatoes provide potassium. Crushed eggshells add calcium. These are nutrients you're already paying for at the grocery store. Might as well use them twice. Problem 4. Extreme pH. If your soil is really acidic and you want to grow vegetables, work in some wood ash from your fireplace or add lime. If it's too alkaline and you want blueberries, mix in sulfur or coffee grounds. But remember, changes take time. Be patient and retest every few months. Here's my favorite lazy gardener trick: sheet mulching. Lay down cardboard over weeds or problem areas. Then pile on compost, leaves, grass clippings, whatever organic matter you have. Water it well. Over the next few months, everything underneath breaks down, weeds die, soil improves, and you didn't have to dig a single hole. It's basically making lasagna for your garden. Number 7. The long game. Here's something nobody mentions when you're starting out. Soil improvement is a journey, not a destination. You're not going to fix years of neglect or builder's clay in one season. That's okay. Every bit of compost you add, every worm that moves in, every root that breaks up compaction, it all adds up. I've seen gardeners get discouraged because they hear about perfect loamy soil and compare it to their clay pit or sandy beach. But some of the most productive gardens I know started with terrible soil. The difference? The gardener's committed to steady improvement. Think of it like fitness. You don't go to the gym once and expect abs. You show up consistently, make small improvements, and over time, everything changes. Soil works the same way. Focus on adding organic matter every season. Mulch your beds to protect and feed the soil. Avoid walking on planted areas to prevent compaction. Plant cover crops in off-season areas if you're feeling ambitious. These simple habits compound over months and years. And here's the cool part. Once your soil gets good, it stays good with minimal effort. It becomes this self-sustaining ecosystem that practically grows plants on its own. You'll spend less money on fertilizers, less time troubleshooting problems, and more time actually enjoying your garden. So let's wrap this up with the key takeaway. Soil isn't just dirt. It's the foundation of everything you're trying to grow. It's alive, complex, and honestly pretty fascinating once you start paying attention. You don't need to become a soil scientist or spend hundreds of dollars fixing everything at once. Start small. Test your soil. Add some compost. Observe what happens. Adjust. The plants will tell you what they need. Remember, every expert gardener with incredible soil started exactly where you are now. They just kept showing up season after season, making small improvements. You can absolutely do the same thing. If you found this helpful, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss our upcoming videos on composting, natural fertilizers, and fixing specific soil problems. Hit that like button, share this with a friend who's struggling with their garden, and drop a comment telling me your biggest soil challenge. I love hearing from you, and your questions help me know what to cover next. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Until next time, keep growing, keep learning, and remember, you've got this, garden friend. See you in the next one.